let me hand out some papers first. Remember, the homework I'm going to hand out was stuff that was due Friday. I'm going to hand it out to you. I'm going to try to stay on top of that just so you can make fixes. If you made a mistake, make a fix, turn it back in. Just make the fixes on this piece of paper that I'm handing back to you. And you can turn it back in. Because I know some people like to make a mistake, or you didn't pay attention to the instructions I gave you. Because again, my instructions are different than what the book says sometimes. So be careful of that. You can always make a fix and turn it back in. I'll get back to you. Early shakes. Let's see. Katie, I'll get back to you in a second. Fred. Matt. I'll get back to you in a minute. Ben. Okay, girls, get passes for me?
She just said teaching, she said to tell you. I don't know.
You're at where?
Cadet teaching at the elementary.
Okay, now you need a pass.
Yeah.
She needs to give you one.
Okay.
And if she has a problem with that, she can talk to me about it.
Okay.
You need a pass, otherwise I have to give you detention, like big time. You're not in class. You shouldn't be getting back late, she should be letting you go earlier than that. Rachel. Kylie. Matt. Here you go.
Oh, I switched numbers around. I see what I did.
You're doing like practice?
Yeah, like I switched to 8 and 9.
Makes it good.
Brody. And Kate.
What was the thing?
That's
What do you need?
What was the sentence?
This is what don't listen.
Managers, who's your cadet instructor again?
Mary Vestia.
That way you just don't have to do that to be awkward.
Our first day was today, so we literally had no instructions other than try to leave at 10:30. But when we're busy with kids, we don't know. We can just like, oh yeah, I gotta go, sorry, we should.
This is not your fault, just kind of do that.
Maybe I should.
And then Jen was like, yeah, I'm not gonna give you a pass.
Okay, hey, we had homework due today. That's your page 6 and 7 if you haven't turned it in already. So make sure that gets turned in. Okay, let's go through a couple notes here today. It's pretty straightforward. Today is intro day. Perfect. Got a pass for me? Thank you. All right. Hold the office here in a second. Okay. All right. So, one of the things I said I want to intro today. We're in the 4th section today. Okay, the 4th section of chapter 1. The big thing about today is about overtime pay. And I know some perfect examples this weekend. We had Labor Day. Well, most employers will give you overtime or time and a half if you choose to work on those types of days. Sometimes you don't have the option, but it's a holiday, So you should get at least time and a half or, double pay, double time, for the amount of hours you put in. Some businesses, like, I know some factory jobs, like let's say like, not necessarily Stellar, but I know like Larson Manufacturing and Clear Lake, they used to do Pella windows and doors. They would count like Sunday night into Monday as Labor Day, so you get the overtime over that day. Even though you started Sunday night, they give you the double time for the amount of hours. The goal today is to talk about, time and a half versus double time, and how to calculate that correctly. We'll do an example or two, and that's pretty much about it. So I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward. Today, remember, the goal today is just the intro. We're not getting any homework or anything like that. We just had homework due over the weekend, and it was inconvenient, but I want to make sure that you guys get to see, example of this or two, and how to do it on a calendar, because, again, the examples we've been doing, I give you just this huge time card. Well, we need to start thinking about if you're working a weekend or whatnot. I'll kind of show you the rough example what I'm talking about. So this is kind of our goal. Okay, let's talk about time and a half. So, usually on a work week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so here's your normal work week. Okay, most employers, I should say that when you work a full 40-hour week, it's on these days. Now, sometimes employers say that, fine, if you didn't work, let's say you had a Wednesday off or something, Saturday is also counted as the normal work week. That's typical. Not everyone, certain normal places of business like factory jobs, that would be considered normal. It would be the normal week. Sunday is usually time and a half, or I should say double time. This is usually double time on most factory jobs. If you work a Sunday, it's double pay. If it's not considered your normal Monday, because some like businesses, like I was explaining earlier, like Larson, you might go in on a Sunday night and work through Monday morning, but that's just considered Monday, because you started and you worked through Monday. But double time usually on Saturday. Now, how you get time and a half is if you work past 40 hours. It's usually overtime. So overtime is when you're putting in your normal 40 hours, wherever you're at, it's wherever your normal 40 hours are, and then you go past it, so you have extra hours. These extra hours, no matter what day it was, this is your time and a half. So I want to explain the concept of how they calculate that. They still take out taxes and all that good stuff, but how is it calculated? So let's say you start working at Quick Start. I'm going to use Quick Start today because I don't know, thing of the town, I guess. And let's say you're getting paid that $11.50 or whatever they said starting pay. It's not even what it is. Let's say it's $11.50. So you're getting $11.50 per hour. Okay. All right. You work your normal 40-hour work week, fine. You can take your $11.50 times your 40. That's your pay that week. But you go past 40 hours. So you're working, Monday through Friday. You worked your 40 hours. But you came in on a Saturday because they were kind of busy on the first week, and they said, "Hey, can you come work for 5 hours on Saturday?" This extra time to working past 40 is time and a half. Now, how they consider time and a half pay? You take your $11.50. So if it's truly time and a half, you take your $11.50, what you're making per hour, and you take it times 1.5. 1.50 or 1.5. What that'll give you is it'll give you your pay per that time period, but it's adding 100% of your money, $11.50, plus an extra half of it, 0.5. So when you multiply that, it'll actually tell you. Now, it won't be perfectly double, you're not going to be at $23 or whatever it is. You're going to be between $11.50 and $23. So $11.50 times 1.5, you're making 17 and a quarter. If you actually multiply that. This is what you're going to get paid per hour after 40. There's some businesses, they don't want you to go past full time. Because look at this. That's huge. $17 an hour, full time. You know, if you're past full time. That's why they have a cutoff. There's some businesses like they don't allow you to get overtime. You're out the door. Doesn't matter if you were halfway in the middle of your job. You're checking out, you're punching out, you're gone. Because they can't afford to pay. Maybe they have 40 employees. They can't afford to pay 40 employees $17 an hour, and they're paying you $11.50. So they just say you drop what you're doing, go check out, you can finish it Monday when you get back. But how you calculate this, how you actually do the total for your time. You take your normal $11.50 times your 40-hour work week. This will give you your normal pay. This is your gross pay, you know, before taxes and everything. Then you do your 17 and a quarter times your 5 hours you put in a little overtime, and whatever those two numbers are, because again, this is still part of your pay, your gross pay, you would add these two together. Whatever these are, you add them. That's how you do it. Now, perfect example was Monday. It was a holiday, so you should get double pay, double time. It's a holiday, national holiday, so you should get double pay, double time. So what double time is, you're taking your normal hours you work. So let's say you put in 9 hours yesterday. So you take your normal hours and you take it times double time pay. So for you, $11.50, if you took it times 2, that's $23 an hour. Take 23 times the hours, maybe put in a 9-hour day yesterday. That's some serious pay. Okay, what is that? 7 period 2, 217 bucks just yesterday. If I did my math right, somebody double check. 207, thank you. 207, serious pay. That was one day. Because how I came up with this double time, how I came up with the 23. You should take whatever your pay is, $11.50 an hour, and you took it times 2. That's where the 23 is coming from. That's a lot. Now, if it was a normal work week, like let's say that was Monday. That was Monday. So you worked your 9 hours on Monday. That was your double time pay. So you're getting paid 23 bucks an hour. So that was your $207. Even though you're going to work the rest of the week, that 9 is considered with your 40 hours. So, because it was still holiday, but as you work through the rest of the week, you're going to work up through 40 hours, and anything past that would be time and a half. Now, you're not going to take 40 times, you know, $11.50 as well and add it to the 207. The 207, you're paid Monday separately. So whatever these extra hours are, so you can work up to 31 extra hours the rest of the week, you know, Tuesday through Friday. That will get you up to your 40. Whatever extra hours you work up to 31, you're just taking times your $11.50. Does that make sense? Because the 9 is still considered with your 40-hour work week, but it would be at a different rate than what Monday was, because Monday was a holiday. But you can work 40 hours total, and anything past 40 would be your time and a half. That gets really confusing when the holidays are in the middle of the week. When there's Sundays, perfect, it's double time anyways. That's usually a common thing. Now, it's different in retail, like Targets and Best Buys. I don't think they even have a double pay at all. Sometimes like holidays are time and a half. Like they just don't pay double time ever. It's time and a half if it's a holiday. Or Black Fridays, you know, they give you time and a half. So just kind of think about that. It depends on the job you're in. Depends on the workplace. Factories are usually pretty common like this. It can get a little messy, especially in your time card. That's why I always say you need to keep track of that time card. It's super important that you don't let a business, you know, take advantage of that, especially if you're not paying attention to your pay. It's one of those scary things. You get everything electronically debited into your checking account, right? You never even check the pay stub. They could be taking hours from you. They could be paying you the wrong hourly rate. They could not be taking taxes out. You need to always double check your pay stub. Get the pay stub, even though you get electronically deposited, get a pay stub and keep track of your hours for every week, especially on like holidays. Like Monday yesterday, you should be getting time and a half or double time. And if they don't say that, it is a national holiday. It's one of those things they have to pay you for. Okay, questions at all about, overtime or holiday pay? I know this is very simple because it just depends on what your job is. Now, I know one of the things I didn't really get back to was one of those concepts a long time ago was contractual time. Like, a lot of you looked up online what your job you wanted to go. Maybe you want to go in the lawn care business, maybe you want to be a social worker, I think we had a bunch of different concepts, a teacher. If you're on a contract per year, like you're getting $30,000 a year, holidays really don't apply. It might be one of those things, you're on a contract. It depends what your contract says if you're working holidays or not. Like for mine, obviously, for a teacher, you don't work holidays. So you don't. Certain holidays, I should say. And that's in the contract, we agree to it. I don't think you can negotiate, your business can't negotiate what holidays are for pay. And here's the sad part, in Iowa, you can't negotiate anymore. They took all powers away from unions. So I think the only thing you can negotiate now is you can't negotiate pay anymore. I think it just comes down to benefits. Certain benefits you can negotiate for, like time off, basically. That's it. You can't negotiate pay, you can't negotiate insurance anymore, nothing. Your state legislator and your governor took away all powers of that. So your business could suddenly cut your pay in half and you can't negotiate that. They can do it. It's in their contract, they can do it. That's scary. That's why you see, like in the papers nowadays, I think there's a couple, I think it was like Seattle, they're still having teacher strikes in businesses because they can't negotiate anything anymore in those states. You can't negotiate pay, vacation time. Yeah, those are certain things that can get scary, get a little sketchy. So that's something you need to be cautious of whatever job you're going into. Read the fine print, especially on those full like annual contracts. All right, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like to write one example down. We're going to do one example and then we're done today. This is the last example of the day. I'm going to put some time on the board here. I'm going to put my little calendar up here. I'm going to give you a certain times you're going to work. And I would like you to calculate what your final pay is going to be at the end of the week. So this is my one example of the day. As I said, it's kind of a light introduction to this. Now, how we're going to do this. I need somebody in here that hasn't volunteered yet. What you're getting paid per hour. So your job that you're thinking about going into. You're working at the pool, maybe you're doing something else. I don't know what your career you want to. Does somebody have a price per hour? Say it. $16 per hour. Okay. So let's say you're going into whatever your job is. It's $16 even per hour. Okay, let's say this is a normal week, there's no holidays this week. Let's say, I'm not going to do that thing on Mondays, time and a half. Let's say it's a normal work week. Let's say you're putting in this day, this would be double time pay if you're working a Sunday. And anything past, the normal work week would be time and a half. But this, if you're working a Sunday, you're getting double time. Let's say you put in 3 hours on Sunday, 8, 7.5, 6, 7.5, 8, and you're working maybe 5 hours on Saturday. I want to know what your final pay is at the end of the week, and you do not have to take out taxes. I just want to know what your final pay is going to be. You will want a calculator. They're in the back. They're underneath the pencil sharpeners back there. I want to see what your final pay is. You're getting paid $16 per hour normal. Remember, if you're past 40-hour work week, you're getting time and a half or anything after 40 hours. But Sundays, you get double time. Pleasure. Time here. 5, 10 minutes, something like that, you can actually calculate, compare with your neighbor. Try to put it in your notes somewhere so I can see how you're doing it. If you have your final number and you want me to just double check it, I'll tell you yes or no. I want to know your final pay. I'm just going to say yes or no. I'm not going to tell you what you did wrong because I want to see if you can go back and kind of figure out if you did. Final pay. Yep. I'm not going to tell you what you did wrong. I just want to know your final pay at the end of the week. With no taxes or anything taken out. Just normal pay. Okay? It's good to practice this to see right around. Yes. That is right.
Oh, nice. I'm so smart.
Take the pay. Hey, this is why we practice. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's good to see it like you didn't quite get it. It's like, ooh, what did I do? I don't understand what I did wrong.
I don't understand why you hide this.
Okay, common mistakes people are making. Some very, very similar mistakes. And I haven't seen too many crazy numbers yet. And a lot of people are making the same mistake, so we'll talk about it. Okay, another couple more minutes. I know it's frustrating. You're like, God, I didn't get it. What's going on? I can't figure it out. We'll talk about it. It could come down to just a simple thing you're not seeing right away.
No, that's the one. 16 times 1.5.
Nope. Nope.
2 hours to No, that's separate. I'll do 40 times 16. That's 6 hours, that's a separate division. Yep.
Okay, anyone else want me to check theirs real quick? See if they're right or wrong? Maybe you don't, maybe you just want to avoid. Does anyone need more time? We have plenty of time here. Don't need to be afraid to be like, yeah, I just need a couple more minutes. Okay, common mistakes I saw. I think one of the most common mistakes I saw somebody make was I think one of the final price was $720. Correct. Other common mistakes somebody had, I think it was 808 was a common one I saw. A lot of people were getting the same ones. Here's the difference. You know you're getting double time pay on Sunday. That doesn't account for your 40-hour work week. That's double time no matter what. It's already outside the boundaries of 40-hour work week. Everything on the inside through Saturday, like I said earlier, that counts for your 40 hours. Because Sunday you get double time anyway, so it won't count. So, here's what you do. You add these up to figure out what the total hours are. 8 plus 7.5 plus 6 plus 7.5 plus 8 plus 5. You add these up because there's no holidays that day. So you add these up, there was 42 hours here. Other than Sunday. You know, I left Sunday by itself. So what does that mean with 42 hours?
You gotta take 2 hours out.
Exactly. 40 hours are normal. That's normal pay. 40 hours, you're gonna get paid $16 per hour. The extra 2 hours, you're getting pay and a half. So we'll have to figure out that. We'll get time and a half for this one. So we have to calculate what we're getting paid for those 2 hours. Okay, so let's do some math here. Let's try to figure some of this out. So double time pay, that was one of the questions I had. How do you calculate? You get $16 per hour, you take it times 2, that's double time pay. You get 32 bucks an hour. Take it times 2, that's double time pay. So if you have your $32 per hour, you take 32, and we're taking times how many hours we worked. We worked 3. That's 96 bucks you made on Sunday. There's Sunday's pay. Double time pay for 3 hours. The next day, we take 40 times 16. 40 times 16, that's a, let's see, what is that? It's a 4, carry a 2. 640 bucks, that's a lot of pay for that 40-hour work week. That's basically Monday through a little bit of time on Saturday. And now, and we're gonna have to add these together eventually. And now the extra 2 hours, because we worked an extra 2 hours overtime on Saturday. The extra time was time and a half. So how do you calculate time and a half? $16 per hour times 1.5. When you multiply that, you should get 24 bucks an hour. That's how you calculate time and a half. 24 bucks per hour after the full 40-hour work week. So 2 hours times 24, 48 bucks. You got 48, 64, 96. Should get 784 if I did my math right. I know it's over 720, I can tell you that. Questions, comments about how to calculate? Typically, Sundays are double time, so they don't count once your 40-hour work week. Taxes coming out, you do 66, I don't need to worry about that. Okay, we understand the concept of time and a half versus double time and all that. Done for the day. Pretty easy. Okay. If you have not turned in today's homework, that's the page 6 and page 7. Maybe it's in your locker one night. Go grab that if you need to. Okay, let's get that turned in right now if you have not already. Did you turn in stuff this morning? Just one? Let's see. Page 2, page 3, so no. That was new. That was Friday's assigned just Friday. So, yeah, you wouldn't have had that one.
Took me the time.